Whatever it is, it doesn't sound good, William said behind him. The young pirate spitted back and grinned. The path was gone entirely now. The four was thinning out to open grass that crested steeply uphill, with the ominous buzz coming from beyond it. Hot followed his fellow prisoners up the slope, his legs burning, pushing the limits of fatigue. He could hear Dot's panting and Borden's punny whistles, but no one fretted, the amplifying rumbles propelling them forward. Hot's heart beat faster, surging blood into his muscles, begging him to run and get his friends out of here as fast as he could. But there was no escape from what was coming. It was time to find out the evil they faced. Soon they were at the crest, sopping with sweat. Fearful and wisely fell back with leering smiles, sitting wait for their captives to see what lay down below. The 7 crew members huddled together in a ball, the string floating around their bodies. They peered over the hill. Hot instantly felt sick. From his vantage point, he could see 4 kingdoms in the distance converge on a plot of land in the middle, about 100 yards wide and 50 yards long. From the east, he glimpsed the midnight blue castle and rising pink moon of his home kingdom. Bloodbrook. From the south, the green pier pots of Kingdom Cadres. From the north, the kingdom of Ravenbow, with its steaming rivers of blood and towers made of bone. From the west, the outlying fells of George Jolie, awash in Easter egg colors. All 4 kingdoms smashed up against the 4 points, sealed off by 4 walls made of frozen water, jagged and brittle, as if a waterfall had frozen mid-flow. The iced walls were at least 50 feet high over the 4 points, shivering with sonic roars. But now, Hot saw what was making the noise. Bodies. Thousands of them, and not just human. Dwarfs, giants, trolls, fairies, nymphs, goblins, and more, assailing the frozen walls from every direction, screaming and kicking and battering them with weapons, revolting against what was inside. Slowly, Hot's eyes lifted. Inside the 4 points, a colossal gallows loomed beneath a pink and grey sky like an open-air theatre. Dozens of nooses hung from beams above the high wooden platform, arranged in 3 distant rows. Only the nooses weren't made out of ropes, Hot realized as they gleamed in the few scraps of sun coming through the clouds. They were made of thick black scales and instantly familiar, because they reminded him of eels. That wasn't the worst part, though. The worst part was that the second and third rows of nooses were already filled, the prisoners has slipped through the scary black loops and their feet planted firmly on trapdoors beneath them. The moment the trapdoors opened, each person would fall through and be hanged. High above the prisoners, cameras floated from a pole speared through the stage. Hearts racing, Hot tried to see past the empty first row of nooses to the faces of the prisoners in the second and third rows, but the darkening sky had left most of them in shadow. "Isn't that the king of George Julie?" Dot said. As Hot's eyes adjusted, he made out the king's surrounded robes and broken crown. In the nooses next to him were his two young boys and a queen that the snake had already declared dead. "Get everyone to think she's dead and then kill her in front of them," Hester murmured. "Make them grieve twice. What's better way to scare people?" "Not even Granny would have thought of that, and she was the White Witch," said Annabelle, unnerved. Panicked citizens of George Julie bashed against the iced walls in their pastel-colored clothes, screaming and begging for their leaders to be saved, for the young princess to be spared. As they listened to these peals, Hot felt his fellow crew members instinctively huddled closer. "Wait, that's the king of Bloodbrook," he said, recognizing the great grey man-wolf who led his home kingdom, noosed up in his second row. Citizens of Bloodbrook, including dozens of man-wolves, beat the walls with weapons and tried to ram them down. "Walls are still holding," said Hester. "Even with the Lady of the Lake powerless, whatever charm she puts on the waterfalls hasn't broken yet." "But if the walls are holding, how'd the prisoners get inside?" Dot asked. Hester looked at her. "Hester," said Annabelle. Hester shaded her gaze to a black-headed man in a noose with gold flakes in his long beard and hair. "Peer man," said Dot, remembering the Grand Vizier that interviewed to the schoolmaster. Ravenbow too had its queen stung up and its people watching the frozen walls, desperate to set her free. Once upon a time, leaders of good and evil fought over this piece of land. Now they'll be killed on it together. But there was no guard on the stage. Hot realized that no pirate or henchman or executor. Dot was right. How had the leaders been captured? And who was going to hand them?